I'm Mr. Amoso. I want to talk about a question that we have at advanced level or A level. Here is the question. The Africans they themselves to blame for their defeat in the First Chimurenga, Umvukela, or the uprisings of 1896 and 97. So that is our question for today. Were the Africans responsible for the defeat that occurred on the first Chimurenga of 1896 and 97? So let's start by identifying the keywords. Our keywords here, we have got the Africans, we have got themselves to blame, then we've got also defeat, then we've got also the first Chimurenga. Then we now divide our question into two. So the first side, we're going to talk about the Africans. They were to blame. They were supposed to blame themselves for the defeat of the uprisings of 1896 and 97. Then on the other side, we look on the other factors that led them to be defeated. So we are going to blame them to a lesser extent. Number one, let's talk about the Africans entering late the uprisings of 1896 and 97. Some Africans, when the uprising started in 1896, they did not join. So that on its own, it led them to be crippled. It led them to be defeated in the uprisings of 1896 and 97. They were not successful because they entered late these uprisings. Number two, Africans were not united. They did not what participate together. That is the Shona and the Ndebele that led them to be defeated. Then also said that some Africans they even collaborated with the wise. They were now working hand in hand with the wise, and that led them to be defeated. Then the Africans they were deceived by the religious leaders. If you fight the wise, the white man's gun is not going to harm you. You are not going to die. They joined the uprisings. They were hammered. They were defeated. They were killed because the whites were using guns, which the Africans could not protect what are them. In which the Africans they were not in a position of protecting themselves against the guns that were used by the whites. So these are some of the points that we can talk about on the first side. Then on the other side of the question now, we said that on the other side, Africans, yes, we have to blame them for the defeat of in the uprisings, but the whites they used superior weapons. They were using guns, and the whites were also using ammunition. So that on its own, it led the Africans to be defeated. Then we also said that the whites were also using horses. They also had better communication methods. That again, it worked to their advantage and it led the Africans to be defeated. And the whites they were using horses for mobility. And it made it easier for them to defeat the what Africans. Then you also see other the Africans, especially the Ndebele, they were crippled by the death of Olobengola, Blazolo Bengola. When he saw that the whites were coming in full force, he had to flee his kingdom. He fled and he eventually died. So by so doing now, it demoralized the Ndebele, leading them to be what defeated. So there was nothing much than the Africans, the Ndebele, could do so that they could not be defeated by the whites. So these are some of the points that we talk about when you answer these questions. Are we supposed to blame the Africans for their defeat in 1896 and 97? Is to a greater or to a lesser, depending on the points that I've provided. Thank you so much. I'm Mr. Monso.